Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back to your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we are going to be talking about Ripple and XRP, as well as the vast majority of crypto and finance. And with that being said, I hope that you are all having a beautiful day or a beautiful night if you guys are out there in the world. So it has been a very, very interesting time in crypto for the last couple years. And when I say that, I'm alluring to the idea of the SEC going after crypto heavily. Now, for the longest time, right, initially, back in December of 2020, Ripple and the entire XRP community was scolded, laughed at. Everyone was saying, this is great. And I remember a lot of these prominent individuals in this space laughing at XRP, talking down on Ripple as a company, and they were saying that it was a great thing that it was happening. Well, now who's laughing? No one. No one. And listen, even as an XRP holder, I'm not biased. I'm not sitting here saying, hey, I hope that Ethereum gets targeted and Ethereum goes belly up. No, because it would set this entire market back years. Well, do you guys remember this post? This is from August. I put this out back in August of 2023, last year. I said that the DeFi space is about to be regulated and taxed to oblivion. They know there's a lot of money flowing through DEXs. They also know that DeFi is a threat to the traditional banking sector. Think about the APY percentage in DeFi versus traditional banking. A direct quote from the FDIC confirms that 0.42% APY, which is 0.5%, it's not even 0.5%, is the national average interest rate on savings accounts. Any return in the traditional world gets evaporated by inflation. DeFi has many risks and you need to be aware of it, but it directly threatens traditional banking. People are realizing how big of a scam fractional reserve banking is. They understand that the system is designed to work against them. Big money is flowing through this space and they are aware. Why do you think you have clowns like Brad Sherman, who's a pro banker, saying crypto bros print money out of thin air? Meanwhile, he is acknowledging that the government does the same thing, but they can because they are the US government. They always target this space using the same old tactics. They mention money laundering, drug activity, etc. Of course, we know that the US dollar and fiat currencies have been utilized for the same exact things forever. Those who are paid for and work for the incumbent bankers will go to any length to target this space. Why do you think we are seeing CBDCs becoming a reality? Because the central bankers realized that this technology would win. That's why they need CBDCs in order to retain power and make money off of this space. Christine Lagarde has said the same exact thing. We need to retain Anchor. Comical. Now, this was back in August. This was after PancakeSwap actually got hit with a Wells notice. Well, guess what? Today, this is actually on the 10th, so just yesterday. Today, Uniswap Labs received a Wells notice from the SEC. I'm not surprised, just annoyed, disappointed, and ready to fight. I'm confident that the products we offer are legal and that our work is on the right side of history. But it's been clear for a while that rather than working to create clear, informed rules, the SEC has decided to focus on attacking long-term good actors like Uniswap and Coinbase, all while letting bad actors like FTX slip by. And again, I've talked about why. I talked about why FTX got the free pass, how they were able to walk into the SEC's doors and walk out just fine. It's because there was a lot of money being thrown around to politicians. There was a lot of payments under the table. Why do you think Gary Gensler has over $100 million in net worth? What, do you honestly think that he's gathering that much resources in terms of money off of just, personal investments and his job? No. Guys, these people are always worth, massive amounts of money. And this is why I always say, how do you expect someone that's worth over $100 million to even care about you or me? protecting retail investors, please give me a break. But regardless, FTX got the green light to come in, leave fine, because it helped push the crypto narrative. It helped push the idea that, hey, you know, if we have people lose their money through something like this, because they obviously knew what was happening, you can't be that blind. They knew that this was going to be made an example of, and it allowed them to target exchanges. And guess what ended up happening? Right after FTX in 2023, we saw Coinbase, Binance, Kraken, multiple exchanges being targeted. When I first set out to build Uniswap, the goal wasn't to reimagine finance. It was an experiment in radically decentralized, fully automated on-chain markets. I didn't know if it would work or if anyone would use it. Fast forward to today, the Uniswap protocol has processed over $2 trillion in volume. Many thousands of teams and developers have forked our code or built on top of it. We built entirely new financial infrastructure that is transparent, fair, secure, and accessible, powering an entire industry. And see, this is the thing that I want everyone to focus on, is this $2 trillion in volume. Why is that important? Well, it's very simple. In the real world, if you make $1 billion, if you pass over $1 billion in net worth, you have eyes on you all the time. Why? Well, it's because of that B. In crypto, it seems as though once you pass over that $1 trillion mark, all of a sudden things change drastically. We saw this once the market cap hit over 1 trillion. From there, it was nothing but problem after problem after problem. And it is because we are getting so big to the point where it is impossible to ignore. That's why crypto is being heavily targeted right now, and specifically DeFi. The team at Uniswap did all of this in the US from our office in New York City. People often ask me why we stay in the US, and my answer is simple. I believe that blockchain is incredibly powerful technology. Like the internet, it's here to stay, so someone needs to figure it out, and it might as well be us. And that when you build technology that improves people's lives, you don't need to hide. The SEC's mission is protecting investors, maintaining fair, orderly, and efficient markets, and facilitating capital formation. This is a noble mission. I would argue Uniswap does a far better job of this today than the SEC. Yes, I'm frustrated that the SEC seems to be more concerned with protecting opaque systems than protecting consumers, and that we'll have to fight a US government agency to protect our company and our industry. This fight will take years, may go all the way to the Supreme Court, and the future of financial technology and our industry hangs in the balance. If we stand together, we can win. I think freedom is worth fighting for. I think DeFi is worth fighting for. And of course, we won't stop shipping. Stay tuned. And you know what's funny about this is everyone is forgetting where this all initially started. Over here, we have Altcoin Daily. First, they came for Binance to protect us. Then they came for Coinbase to protect us. Then they come for Uniswap to protect us. When they missed FTX, Celsius, and 3AC completely. The thing is that they're all forgetting where it all started. It actually started with Ripple. And we know for a fact that it caused $15 billion. When is this going to be answered for? When is the SEC going to answer for the $15 billion upon announcement of the lawsuit for XRP? When are they going to answer for that? Oh yeah, that's right. They're not going to, because a government agency will never be held accountable for their actions. It is ridiculous that after $15 billion in damages dealt to retail, the SEC is still here 2 years later saying, hey, we want $2 billion for a settlement with Ripple. Remember where all of this started though, like I said. And remember that Ripple was the one fighting for the industry initially. Back in January of 2023, I said specifically, if you haven't been supporting Ripple in the fight for the entire crypto industry against the SEC, you were betting against this entire industry. XRP holder or not, this case is far bigger than just regulatory clarity for XRP, and the motives from the SEC are embarrassing. And again, all of what we are seeing now from the SEC is exactly what Ripple was fighting back against. This is why when we started to see a lot of people laughing at XRP, laughing at Ripple, guess what? Nobody's laughing at this point, because we are now seeing DeFi, decentralized finance, unlimited opportunity to make money, and 10 times, I would even argue that it's a lot more. It's so much more in terms of the opportunity that DeFi has to allow you to make passive income, change your life financially, than what the traditional world offers. Risk involved or not, it doesn't matter. When we look at this space, guys, there's unlimited opportunities to tap into. But the SEC is trying to stomp anything out. Anything that they can't control, they want stopped out. And remember who is pulling the strings behind the SEC. It is not a Gary Gensler problem. It is a government infrastructure problem. Why? Because when you think about this, who is pulling the strings around the SEC? Oh yeah, that's right, the pro bankers like Brad Sherman. Elizabeth Warren is one of them. Also behind her is a ton of big bankers. And guess who she's also behind? The SEC. The bankers are pulling the strings all the way down the food chain. They are all controlled puppets for the pro bankers, and we know this. Now, there was also another great post over here. This is from the CLO at Uniswap. We have today's Will's notice against Uniswap is disappointing, but it is not unexpected from this SEC. It's another abuse of power, unsurprising from an SEC that last month a federal judge ruled committed a gross abuse of power by lying in court about a crypto project. In Ripple, a judge ruled didn't act out of a faithful allegiance to the law. In Grayscale, 3 judges ruled broke the law in denying a Bitcoin ETF having no reasonable or coherent explanation. In our case with Uniswap, the SEC's arguments are particularly weak. The SEC has authority only over securities, not any asset represented by a particular file format or technical standard. Most tokens are clearly not securities like Bitcoin, Ethereum, stablecoins, meme coins, nor generally are secondary market transactions, per the Ripple opinion. The Uniswap protocol, web app, and wallet don't meet the legal definitions of securities exchange or broker. Just weeks ago, the judge in SEC versus Coinbase dismissed the claim that crypto wallets were brokers, even if the tokens at issue were securities. A court in Risley has ruled the Uniswap protocol is mainly used for lawful purposes. The SEC's current exchange rule doesn't cover it, so the SEC proposed a new rule. But we've explained why that would fail. If the SEC had authority over our self-custodial, non-intermediated products, it could tell us how to register them. It can't, and so it doesn't. It has provided no clarity and no guidance, as several SEC commissioners have stated in multiple dissents. Uniswap products comply with U.S. law. We welcome sensible regulations for crypto and clear rule of law that we expect in the U.S., not arbitrary enforcement and continued abuse of power. Uniswap Labs is prepared to fight against this abuse, and we're confident we'll win. And I think everyone should be in support of what Uniswap is doing here, because listen, this is something very, very significant to focus on. The SEC has been taking L after L after L, and now we are starting to see them coming back heavily against Uniswap, which is a pillar in the DeFi realm. And, the big question is, what's going to happen next, right? Because Anderson said it perfectly. He said, is this the setup or the one step before the SEC goes after Ethereum? Uniswap is an automatic market maker for ERC20 tokens. Ironic that trading likely resumes for XRP Ledger's AMM in a few hours. Now, a lot of people have been saying, how coincidental that Uniswap is now being targeted while the AMM on the XRP Ledger resumes. I don't think that's a coincidence. And honestly, I don't want the SEC to go after Ethereum. Do I think that ETHgate is a big problem? Do I think that everyone should focus on it? 100%. But I'm not here pioneering the fact that, hey, Ethereum should 100% be targeted and torn down. There will be a day of reckoning for Ethereum. There will be. there's going to be answers that need, or questions that need answers, and those answers will see the light of day. But I'm not one that is pro, hey, let's go after this project and let's make them a big target for the SEC. Because listen, it's very easy to play that game in this space. As an XRP holder, we know that there was a lot of hate coming from the Ethereum community. We know that there was a lot of issues around, what Vitalik was pushing around XRP and Ripple. Again, we can go on for days and days and days for that. But the problem here is I'm not going to support a government agency whatsoever, especially one that is so radical in the way that they are going after everything and the way that they are causing damage to every single retail individual. And also, not to even mention the fact that the US, right? The US is falling greatly behind because of what the SEC has been doing. There was a great post made by Austin Campbell over here. This is unfortunately the advice that I've given to several of my clients as well. Think about that. I'm an American. I've testified in front of Congress because I care about this issue and I believe in this tech, and I'm telling our best and brightest to leave. Because again, when you think about what's going on here, in the US, you are not safe. If you are pushing new technology, you are not safe. This is a very, very problematic issue. But again, when we look at what's been going on around crypto for a very long time, we know that these regulators, we know that these big bankers, we know that all of these bad actors that are bought and paid for are pushing the agenda to make sure that you stay within your bank. Remember the big problem that I've always pushed around crypto. The bankers hate crypto because people are pulling their money from the banks and putting it into DeFi protocols. The reason why Uniswap is getting targeted is because there is so much opportunity to make money in DeFi outside of the traditional banking system. They don't want you pulling money and putting it into these new protocols. It's the same exact way that I described the APY in DeFi versus traditional banking. But this is a huge, huge problem. And I really think that this is a big, big warning sign for what's to come. And I think that everyone should be in support of Uniswap at this point. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.